welcome to my channel. Today, I will show you different methods to revive and care for your orchids. Specifically, I will show you 2 important fertilizers to protect your orchids from leaf diseases and insects, and to ensure your orchids bloom well in winter without yellowing buds and dropping. Many of you see plants in this condition and often rush to throw them away, but in fact, we can completely save and revive the plant if handled properly. As you can see, the leaves are eaten by fungus from the inside out, causing the stem to soften, the leaves to rot and gradually fall off. Fungal diseases spread very quickly. Just a little delay and the entire plant can be completely damaged. With leaves that are heavily moldy like this, we must remove them immediately, cut them off and take them away from the orchid growing area. Absolutely do not leave them in the garden, to avoid spreading to other pots. If you observe carefully, you will see that the stem and leaves are both invaded by fungus from the inside out. This is the most dangerous type of fungus attacking the soft tissue of the plant. If you are new to the channel, please hit the like and subscribe button to support me and so you don't miss any orchid care tips. It's great to have you along on this journey. Now, we will check the roots and growing medium. Here, most of the roots have rotted, turned black and lost elasticity. When removing the substrate, we will see a lot of fungi and bacteria residing in the moss and old pine bark. The humid, airless environment is the ideal condition for fungi to grow and spread quickly. So with this substrate, it is necessary to remove it to check more clearly the internal roots to grasp the situation and see which roots are still healthy so that the plant can be revived. What country are you watching this video from? Leave a comment to let me know. It's great that we can connect and chat with each other from all over the world. After cleaning all the old substrate, we will proceed to cut off all the damaged and rotten roots, keeping only the fresh, firm roots with green or ivory color. Next, we will take out the clean, sterilized scissors and proceed to trim all the damaged roots of the orchid. You can clearly see that these roots have rotted, turned black, and completely lost their vitality, so we need to remove them immediately to avoid spreading to the healthy roots. For roots that have been eaten deep by fungus, we cut them firmly to the position where the root tissue is still green and strong, absolutely not leaving any rotten black parts. In particular, we also need to cut off all the black or dry root tips. This helps the root system to be airy and clean, creating conditions for the orchid to develop new roots, absorb nutrients, and recover faster. Next, at the top and flower stalk, we also need to cut off all the dried or wilted flower stalks. This helps the plant focus on nourishing the stem and roots, instead of continuing to nourish the weak parts. When cutting, we observe the stem gradually cut until we see the tissue is still green and healthy. Then stop, because that is the part of the plant that still has the ability to recover. With this remaining healthy root, we will proceed to restore and revive the orchid, helping the plant to regenerate new roots and sprout new buds in the near future. Now we will put the plant outside and begin the next step of recovery care. In the next part, we will put the orchid in to clean it thoroughly with clean water. When restoring orchids in the garden that are moldy or have rotten leaves, washing with water is an extremely important and mandatory step. Clean water will help remove dirt, moss, as well as wash away most of the mold spores that are still stuck on the stem and leaves. We should spray lightly all over the stem and leaves, especially in the leaf crevices and roots where mold often resides. Then, use your hand or a soft cloth to gently wipe away the moldy patches, helping the plant to breathe and recover more easily. Once finished cleaning, rinse again with clean water to completely remove any remaining mold and impurities. Thus, our orchid has been completely cleaned, helping to prevent fungal diseases from recurring and creating conditions for new roots to grow strongly. For the next part, we will prepare a clean container to hold water. Then, we take half a fresh lemon. Lemons contain a lot of vitamin C, organic acids and natural minerals, which have antibacterial and antifungal effects, and also help the orchid's wound heal quickly and stimulate the regeneration process. Next, we prepare a small strainer, then squeeze half a lemon to get the juice. When squeezing clean, the lemon will release all the essential oils and nutrients, helping the solution to achieve maximum effectiveness. After squeezing, we filter out the seeds and lemon pulp, keeping only the pure juice to use for the care and sterilization process for the orchid in the next step. For the next part, we will prepare 1 liter of purified water. It is recommended to use boiled water that has been cooled or row-filtered water to ensure the safety of the orchid. Then, we pour this water into a container with lemon juice. Then use a spoon or chopsticks to stir gently and evenly so that the lemon juice is completely dissolved in the filtered water. For the next part, we will prepare a clean container, preferably a glass or transparent plastic container for easy observation during the soaking process. Then, we gently place the entire base and roots of the orchid into the container, paying attention to arrange so that the orchid roots are evenly spread, not folded or compressed. This helps the solution to penetrate evenly into each root. Next, we will pour all the previously diluted and dissolved lemon juice into the container. This solution will cover and penetrate evenly into the root system, helping to sterilize, kill mold, and stimulate the orchid roots to quickly recover and grow strongly again. When soaking, we leave it for about 30 minutes so that the natural active ingredients in the lemon, especially citric acid and vitamin C, can exert their antiseptic and antifungal effects, helping to clean the roots and stimulate the orchid roots to quickly recover and grow again. "30 minutes later, we gently lift the orchid out of the lemon juice solution. At this point, the entire roots and base of the orchid have been effectively disinfected and killed, helping the plant to be free of pathogens and safer. Thus, we have completely cleaned and disinfected the orchid, helping the plant to be clean, airy, and ready for the next stage of recovery and care. For the next part, after cleaning and disinfecting the orchid, we will take the plant outside to seal the cuts with hot glue. We gently apply hot glue directly to the wounds or the root tips that have just been cut. This helps prevent mold and bacteria from entering, and also helps the wound dry and heal quickly. Thus, when the cuts have been covered with a protective layer of hot glue, our orchid will no longer be at risk of fungal infection, root rot, or bacterial attack. Then, we place the plant in a dry, cool place to wait for the glue to dry completely. Then proceed to plant the plant in a new substrate so that the plant can continue to recover and grow. For the next part, we will prepare a small piece of foam, cut it into a piece about 5 centimeters long, just enough to line the base of the orchid. Then, we put the foam into the pot, then put the orchid in the planting position. We lightly fix the base of the tree so that the orchid roots can contact the foam, helping to keep moisture and create ventilation for the root system. Next, we will plant the tree with a pine bark substrate. Before planting, the entire pine bark has been thoroughly disinfected to help remove mold and harmful bacteria. Then, we put each layer of pine bark into the pot, lightly wedged around the base of the orchid, so that the tree stands firmly and the roots are evenly covered. Using pine bark combined with foam will help the substrate be airy, drain well, and be environmentally friendly, creating conditions for the orchid roots to grow healthily and stably for a long time. After planting, we will gently pat around the edge of the pot so that the pine bark is evenly compressed, helping to fix the base and roots of the orchid. We will cover the surface of the pot with a thin layer of moss. The main purpose is to maintain stable humidity for the orchid's root system, helping the roots to grow evenly and healthily. This layer of moss will act as a natural cushion, both retaining moisture well and creating a well-ventilated environment, helping the orchid grow strongly and absorb nutrients effectively. Thus, covering the mouth of the pot with a thin layer of moss is a very important step in the planting and care process, helping to maintain ideal humidity and stimulate orchid roots to grow healthy and sustainable. The ingredient we will use today to care for the orchid is a fresh coconut. We will choose a medium-sized coconut with natural sweet water, then carefully split the coconut in half. The coconut water inside is a very valuable source of natural nutrients, helping to stimulate root growth, restore weak plants, and nourish shiny green leaves. Natural coconut water contains many essential minerals and vitamins such as vitamin C, B, E, and especially gibberellic acid, a natural active ingredient that helps stimulate orchids to revive, grow strong roots, and sprout quickly. Thus, we have obtained a source of pure natural coconut nutrients, ready for the next step of care to help the orchid recover and grow healthily. For the next pot, we will measure out 50 cc of fresh coconut water, enough for one batch of nutrient solution. Then, we pour all of this coconut water into a clean container. Next, we will add 1 liter of clean filtered water to dilute the solution, making it easier for the coconut water to absorb and not shock the orchid roots. Once mixed, we stir the mixture of coconut water and filtered water, so that the nutrients, vitamins, and natural minerals in the coconut water dissolve completely, creating a light liquid nutrient solution that is safe for the orchid. Next, we pour this coconut water into the spray bottle to prepare to spray the orchid. This is the step to help the plant absorb nutrients in the most gentle and effective way. Next, we take the orchid pot outside, then start spraying directly on the orchid base in the growing medium. Spraying coconut water evenly around the base will help the growing medium retain moisture better, while stimulating the orchid roots to absorb natural nutrients from the coconut water. After spraying, we can combine light watering directly on the base and roots, so that the solution penetrates deep into the growing medium, helping the orchid recover quickly. The roots are healthy and the leaves and stems grow green. At this time, the orchid roots will absorb the natural nutrients in the coconut water, helping to stimulate cell regeneration, restore vitality, and at the same time promote the young plant to sprout, grow, and grow healthier. After the time is up, we lift the plant out and gently drain the excess water. At this stage, we cover the clear plastic pot or glass lid on top, creating a small greenhouse, helping to retain moisture, prevent insects and mold from entering the orchid. This method also creates a stable, warm, and airy environment, helping the plant recover quickly and produce new, healthy roots. Finally, we return the orchid pot to a shady, airy, and lightly lit place so that the plant can continue to photosynthesize and grow naturally. And you should note On average, we take care of the plant with nutrients about twice a month, and on normal days, when the substrate shows signs of dryness, we just need to spray a light mist to keep the leaves and roots moist. After 4 weeks of care, our orchid has revived and grown strongly. Overall, the plant has matured, the leaves are green again, the stem is thicker and the root buds are rising from the surface of the pot, signaling a new growth cycle. When examined closely, we see that the roots are firmly established. The white, thick root tips are reaching out to find nutrients. This is a sign that the plant has fully adapted to the new environment. With strong roots and green leaves, the orchid will certainly grow strongly and soon flower again. Plants that seem to be discarded, if we persevere, put all our heart and love into the care process, the orchid will revive, flourish, and bring joy to the grower. After this stage, we can start adding light organic fertilizer to help the plant increase its resistance and get ready for the next flowering period. First, take a clean container, open the lid to prepare. The main ingredient is flour, which contains a lot of B vitamins, potassium, phosphorus, and nitrogen, very important elements to help stimulate orchids to develop healthy roots, thick green leaves, and abundant flower buds. We will take a teaspoon of flour and put it in the container. Next, add 1/4 teaspoon of dry bread yeast. This is a natural biological yeast, capable of stimulating the growth of beneficial microorganisms, helping plants increase resistance and recover quickly. Then, we pour in 500 milliliters of warm water. The warm water temperature will help the flour and yeast dissolve quickly, activating the light fermentation process. Use a spoon to stir well until the mixture is completely dissolved in water, forming a light, viscous solution. Finally, we cover the barrel tightly, leave it for 3 hours so that the solution will ferment slightly, creating natural nutrients rich in microorganisms and minerals. At this time, we can take it out to use to care for the orchid. After 3 hours of incubation, our flour solution has completely dissolved and begun to ferment slightly, creating a very good source of natural biological nutrients for orchids. Next, we will pour this flour solution into a clean bottle. Remove the residue so that the solution is clearer and easier to use. Then, we take the orchid outside to take care of it. We water the flour solution directly onto the roots and substrate. This is the area where the plant absorbs the most nutrients. The solution will gradually penetrate into the roots, helping to stimulate new roots, restore damaged root tissue, and at the same time nourish the leaves and young shoots to grow strongly. Next, we will take a clean spray bottle. Then pour the slightly fermented flour water into it to prepare to spray nutrients for the orchid. Now we spray evenly on the leaves, roots, and around the substrate. This solution will penetrate into each cell, helping the plant recover quickly, grow new roots, and young leaves grow healthily. After spraying, we gently cover the roots to keep the moisture stable, then put the plant back in its original position. With this type of nutrient, we only need to periodically care for it twice a month. On normal days, if the substrate is dry, we just need to mist the leaves and around the base with clean water once every 3 days is reasonable. Do not let the plant get too dry or waterlogged. During this stage, we do not need to cover anything anymore. Just put the plant in the garden, in a shady, airy place with natural light. At that time, the leaves will photosynthesize easily, the roots will be healthy, and the orchid will grow naturally and sustainably according to the environment. After 28 days of persistent care, our orchid has completely recovered and grown extremely healthy. The young leaves have now grown green, thick and full of vitality. With regular and dedicated care, the orchid that seemed to be abandoned has now revived strongly, proving the amazing recovery ability of this flower when cared for properly. You can observe that the root system has developed very strongly. New roots are growing densely. Many roots have crawled to the edge of the pot, clinging tightly and spreading around. The base and roots slanting down to the bottom of the pot have also appeared densely, proving that the plant is absorbing nutrients very well and growing strongly. All thanks to the use of natural, safe nutrients available in the kitchen and garden, such as banana juice, ginger juice, coconut water, flour or coffee, helping the plant grow sustainably, without nutritional shock, and completely friendly to the environment. If we continue to care for it regularly, rotating these natural nutrients, then after only about 4 months, the orchid will begin to produce a brilliant flowering season, with healthy, evenly blooming and long-lasting flower branches, demonstrating the miraculous revival from the love and perseverance of the grower. I hope this video will help you take better care of your orchids at home. If you find it useful, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on upcoming simple and natural orchid care tips.